From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Captain's Log Supplemental.
Miss Vicki.
Yes, sir.
You know what?
What?
I've been thinking about this Sentinel system.
Yeah. Tell me about the Sentinel system.
So what I was thinking was, we have the one car that's got the aim dash that's slowing us down. Because installing the aim dash is actually, it probably is easy, but it's quite hard the first time. We haven't figured that out yet. The Sentinel system is really easy to set up. So what I was thinking was, why don't we put it in the Lemons car, and we'll worry about the aim data information separately, and we'll kind of break it down into a project. Because then we'd have the motorsports video system that we really, really want, and we'd be able to stream it. We just won't have the data inside, but we have the data outside, so we can combine them later. But I think that's a really good solution.
So what does this Sentinel system do?
Well, if it had the aim data, it would have all the data on the screen, and you could see all their telemetry and everything live. But we'd be able to not only record it for viewing after the race, but we could actually watch our car during the race.
Ooh, like on the monitor and everything?
On a monitor, if you were at home and I was at a track, or if you were at the track and I was at home, depends on who gets the short straw, but we'd be able to watch each other.
It's something I've always wanted to do.
And you know what? If you're driving, you know what you can do on the Sentinel system?
What's that?
You can communicate to me with your hands, and I can't do a thing about it.
Even better.
So, if you need to give a wave or a jersey wave, whatever you need, we could save it and see it on the screen. And then you can have up to 3 different cameras, and it'll have picture in picture. You'll have the basic main shot out the front window, and then 2 cameras where you put them wherever you want. One could be on the driver, or one could be on the rear view. It's kind of cool.
Then we can upload it onto YouTube.
We could bore millions of people on YouTube.
I love it.
All right. Very well. You know what the only downside I see about this?
What?
Your mom and my mom are going to be panic-stricken the entire weekend watching this thing to see if everything's going well.
This is true.
We probably shouldn't tell them.
I like the idea of having a Sentinel.
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily we have maybe 2. Depends on how things go. We're going to try. All right. That sounds like a plan. That's the project. We got to get that ready for the next race.
Sounds great.
All right. Very well. Thank you, ma'am.
Ben Dawson, we have a question from a race driver at their first ever race, that they came up to me and said, "Hey, how do I do this?" And I said, "Oh." And you know what? If one person has the question, probably more than one person has the question. So
that's awesome. Let's count this as a listener question anyway, even if this person never listened one time.
They do listen. Who knew?
All right, let's count that. We got a great streak of listener questions going.
We do. We're rocking it now. Garage here then training at gmail.com, or any racetrack that we're at. So the question started out very simple. It's like, hey, how do I know what our times are and what position I am in the race?
Good.
And I said, hey, there's a couple apps you can have, one being Race Hero and one being Race Monitor, that I use. One's free and one's a small subscription. But this will tell you everything you need to know. But I thought maybe we should say what Race Hero and Race Monitor are. And if there's a third one, let me know.
Yeah. So have ye a smartphone?
Yes.
Download these 2 apps. I use them both. Every now and then they'll show you all the races that are happening. I think sometimes I'm like worldwide. I'm like, what continent is this on?
Yep.
But yeah, just about anything that's being timed will show up on there as far as races. They also the same sort of things exist for like any event that's timed on a transponder. So it's not just the car racing, but these are the ones that I use for car racing. And even over the past few years where I've had little kids and not been at the track very much myself, these apps will come up for renewal. And my wife will be like, do you want to spend the money to keep this thing going? I'm like, yeah, that's the only way I keep up with racing that my buddies are doing while I'm kind of taking care of kids or dodging the lake. So it's I use it all the time just to watch races. Like this past weekend, my team, two teams that I run with locally, both got to race this AER race while I was at Disney. So instead of being sad about that, because both teams did great. One team won their class both days of the weekend without me, which I guess you don't need to dominate with Dawson if you just dominate with your damn self. But anyway, it was great. I was very proud of Winston Racing for doing so well with the AER race. But I'm sitting there taxiing on the runway, watching the end of the race on Saturday, knowing my buddy Hans is in the car because I can go look at Race Hero, click on our team, see that Hans is the driver of the car, see where we are, see how far back the other car was. We were taxiing on the runway and the whatever my signal cut off as the last lap needed to play out. Last thing I saw was there was about a 2 or 3 second gap between our car and the one we still needed to finish one lap ahead of. And my Wi-Fi cut off. But I was watching that race like I was watching one on TV just from sitting there watching time and sport. And every time the car went by, I was on the edge of my seat just from watching Race Hero. I watched Race Hero time and scoring all weekend with our car. I'm texting the team back and forth like, oh my God, I can't believe you, blah, blah, blah. Like this guy did this in the car. So I had a great time, not even having any kind of video access to what my team was doing just by tracking them just this past weekend with the Race Hero. So that's the way I always keep up with how our team is doing, whether I'm there or not. Race Hero or Race Monitor. I think Race Hero is a little bit slicker interface, a little bit easier to look at, but they're both great. And if you don't see the race you're looking at listed on Race Hero, go look at Race Monitor. It might be there, vice versa. I think it has to do with what the people at the track remember to turn it on.
Yeah, pretty much. I think they're great when you're at the track, and they are horrible if you're trying to get some work done on the car during the weekend and you've got friends in the middle of a race and
my God,
you just get nothing done. I remember our friends Three Pedal Mafia were going for the win, their first ever overall win, and for Saturday and Sunday that entire weekend I got little done working on the car because I'm sitting there looking at my phone like a 16-year-old girl. So it was
I ignored my family for 2 days straight while this race went on this past weekend.
But
I'm just kidding. I did not ignore my family as much as I could have. I definitely could have ignored them more, but I was watching that thing like a hawk, man. I was all over that.
I know. So what do they give us though, Ben? What do you actually see? What do you actually get from these things?
So you're going to see what event is happening. You go click on the event. You can click on results. So they've already had a qualifying race the day before. They'll show you every session that's been scored so far that weekend. They can also click on the live tab to show you what they're doing at the track that moment. If they've got a race going on, show it there. I think they'll show a little symbol to show up there live when you're kind of scrolling through the feed. So you'll see a little kind of megaphone or something if they're broadcasting live. But you can go click on the thing you want to see. You can see what teams have turned laps, what teams may not have even started yet. See a whole list of the teams, where everybody is as far as how many laps they've made, gap to the next team, gap to the leader. You can usually click on the line for a team and see all of their lap times displayed in a little drop down. Am I right?
Yeah, like a little graph with lap by lap time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so in some cases, in some series, you'll see who the driver is because some teams use RFID. Is that what it's called?
Nicely done, sir.
Jesus, I was like, oh my God, I feel like a fourth grader taking a pop quiz. But a lot of series are using RFID ID to tell which driver is in the car when they pass out of the pit. So, just something to think about with tracking those results that way. So, some series give more detail than others.
Yeah, and they'll give you fastest lap for the day, and they'll also give you last lap, and it'll keep cycling through. So you can almost feel like you're there, except it's usually every minute and a half or 2 minutes you get new data, so it's not quite watching it on the
right.
YouTube or something.
Oh man, I was like a 2-minute crackhead just watching those laps, click by, click by, click by. Like, let's go. It's wild how much excitement you can get when you know all the people involved, you know who's there, and all you get is an update every couple minutes. But you're still like, ah.
The worst is when it's like a 2-minute lap, and then like 2 minutes and 30 go by, and there's no yellow flag.
Oh yeah,
but the car you're watching hasn't gone by, and then the car below it, you see it go blip, and you're like, uh-oh. And then that's when you usually resort to text messaging your team. What's going on? These things happen.
Yeah.
Could be as simple as a pit stop, guys. It's not necessary that it's a calamity, but sometimes it is. But usually it's a pit stop or a yellow flag or a transponder issue or whatever. So don't lose all faith, but keep the pulse straight down. But it's very fun to watch.
Yeah, sure.
And you can watch worldwide, anywhere you go on. So it's kind of cool. Not quite as good as a Sentinel, Ben. The Sentinel's much better. You get the video, but good to have. So anything else about those?
Nope. Get your apps, track them, check it out.
That's right. I think one is free and one's like $8 or $9 or $10 a year. So life is good.
Yep.
Thank you, Ben.
All right. Thank you.